喂喂，安安呐、大家安安。哇，上次开完那个《绝命精神病院》就比较少开台了啊，现在要来玩那个新的游戏，这个是史丹利的寓言啊，汤博邦的买的。好，我有灌那个中文化，所以大家可以看到现在变中文，所以也不怕有人看不懂啦。这原本是英文的啊，跟这个它的对话还有字都还蛮多啊。那我就开始了。开始了。
This is the story of a man named
这是一个叫史丹利的男人的故事。
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was
在一
employee
栋大楼里
427.
的公司工作，他是
Employee
427
number
员工，
427's job was simple.
坐在办公室前，然后按键盘上的按钮，
And he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push,
看什么按钮，按多久，用什么顺序按。
and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day, of every month, of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in.
享受着每一个指令下达的时刻。对，这是变态。
Stanley was happy.
史丹利是幸福的。
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley.
改
Something
变
he
史
would
丹利，
never quite forget.
让
He
史
had
丹利
been at
永
his
生
desk
难
for
忘。
nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all of his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked,
一
frozen,
定是有什么东西搞错了。
Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped instead of his office.
走出了他的办公室。好，走。
All of his co-workers were gone.
他所有同事都不见了，这意味着
Stanley
什么？
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
会议
No
室
matter
小
how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
呢，关起来。节约用电啊！
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is
What?
worth? No.
What?
I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose
Measly
you were to
5
click
clicks.
the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
好，20下啊，我不会去点20下啊。好，很好，没人。哎，靠，我把电脑关掉了。Hello。哎，关起来，把我们鬼。对啊，我从这边出来的。哦哦。
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
左边，啊，左边。哎，打不开了，哇！ 会议
Yet
室
there was not a single person here either.
如何不被炒鱿鱼？
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's
他决定
office,
去老板的办
hoping
公
he
室，
might
希
find
望
an answer
可以
there.
在那里找到答案。杂物室。
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to
上
his
楼。
boss's office.
对吗？老板，老板，老板，老板。
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an
他在这阵地里
indication
发
of
现
any
这
human
里
life.
也没有任何活人。
Unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him?
什么黑暗的
What
秘
he
密在
could
瞒
not
着
have
他？
known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course,
284
Stanley couldn't
5.
possibly have known. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
他踏入了新打开的通道。电梯下楼。这读，居然还要读取。
Descending deeper into the building,
继
Stanley
续前
realized
进
he
到
felt a
建
bit
筑的深处，
peculiar.
史丹利
It
开
was
始
a
感到有点
stirring
奇
of
怪。
emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself.
他不禁
to
开始反
question
思
the
自己
nature
以
of
前
his
的工
job.
作的本质。
Why did he feel this now? When
为什么这些年来
it
他
had
第一次有这
never
种感
occurred
觉
to
呢？
him? This question would not
结
go
果你马上
unanswered
就会有
for
答案。哎呦，
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door
精神
that
控
read
制者。
Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
走下去是什么呢？
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true.
这虽然很难让人相
Had
信
been，under
但确
someone's
实真的。
control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his
这就是
boring
他觉得乏味工作
job?
很
That
有
his
趣的一个原因
emotions
吗
had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He
No.
couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was
Never.
unthinkable, wasn't it?
简直难以
Was
想
it
象，
even
对吧？
possible?
这真的有可能
Had
吗
he？truly spent his entire life
难道在他过去人生中，
blind to
真的
the
对世界一
world?
无所知吗？
But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
Power.
For he would dismantle the controls once and for all. Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty.
和未知带来的一丝寒意。
Was it over?
Over 结束了吗？
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened,
尽管那庞大的门正在缓缓开启，但你仍在反思还有多少尚未解开的难题。他的同事到底去哪儿？他怎么从这机器的控制中解脱的？这个奇怪的建筑还隐藏了什么秘密？
But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he
不是知识，甚至不是力量，只是幸福而已。
Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
丹尼踏出了那开着的门。
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility
他感到了一
of
种
new
如释重负的
path
感觉，
before him.
并在他面前展
This
现道
was
路所蕴
exactly
含的
the
无限可能性。
way. Right now,
这正是
things
这一刻
were meant
所
to
应该
happen.
发生的事。
And Stanley was happy.
且史丹利很幸福。结束了。Best beat the game. Beat the game. 啊，所以没了。
All of his co-workers were gone.
哦，
What
又
could it
重
mean?
来的意思。
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
好，关机啊，节约用电啊。
大大安啊，
安安，要
这是什么游戏？
这个叫史丹利的寓言，一个奇怪的游戏。
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors,
进了
he
左
entered
边的
the
门，
door on his left.
偏不要走右边。
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
公休息室。
Yes, truly a
真是一
room
个好
worth
房间。
admiring. It had really been worth the
这到老
detour
人真是
after
物超
all,
所值。
just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
大逼。
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
走开这道门，先不要。
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
禁止撒谎，如果你正在撒谎，马上停下。哎哎哎哎！哎哎，有卡分是吗？最高机。
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
这个好烦
There's
啊！
someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for
这人
her.
不是我，而是他。他是谁？谁呀？
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
He's been waiting.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to
这
do
是他打来，
this,
史丹
to
利，
reach
你
out
接
to
他的
her.
电话吧。
If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
如果你真的相信他，就去接电话。好，我接。
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife?
真的觉得
They
你
want
有
to
一个
commit
深
their
爱着
life
的
to
妻子吗？
you. I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man
史丹
named
利之
Stanley.
死的悲剧。
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him.
他的工作对他没有
Every
什么要
button
求
that。he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential
按
nature
下每个按
of
钮只
his
是为了维持他
existence.
那微不足道的存在感。按下5。
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
0。哦，
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures.
心里可以进行
From
梦幻般
behind
的
his
冒险
desk,。Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful.
这
And
是
each
太美好
day
了
that。he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
他就想起像什么也没发生。C。
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the
原型
earth.
麻豆，
The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
L。
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible
开始
paths and
增添一些路线和
destinations.
地点。
Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
扣脸。Incredible.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again,
画好多
and
好
again,
啰嗦。
over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen
但是
to
他
me.
根本
He
听不
won't
进去，
stop.
他不会停
Here,
下来的。
watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
晚安。这样啊，哈，按啊，哈。干，玩还不能继续哦。机车哎，看一定要按吗？到底要不要按呢？看这。
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll